Hey everyone, I'm sitting out here by a lake tonight, or this evening, late evening. The last bit of sunlight is off back there. I literally just got off work, and I wanted to talk about this. And this is, going to be different from my usual fare. Ooh, I forget I can zoom in on these things. I don't ever do 2D videos, hardly ever. But I wanted to talk about something that I've kind of struggled with, that I've been struggling with for quite a while, and I want to let you guys know that I'm fine. There's nothing wrong. I'm not gonna hurt myself. I'm not gonna hurt other people. It's okay. This is just something that I've been working at and trying to get better with. But one of the biggest things that I have an issue with, or one of the things I've been struggling with for quite a while, for like the last 2 years or more, is I always, or I would always have this feeling that I was going to be majorly ill. Like, worrying about things that I shouldn't really be worrying about. Like illnesses or diseases or something that my family doesn't have a history of. And as a 24-year-old, I shouldn't really be worrying about that sort of thing. Like, oh, I'm gonna have a heart attack or a stroke or whatever. It's like really outlandish stuff that if I told somebody, they'd be like, dude, you're like 24 and your family doesn't have a history of any of that, and you don't smoke and you don't drink, and like you eat good and you go out for exercise. Like, what are you even worried about? But it's just like this really nagging thing. But it all stemmed like 2 years ago when I was at work and I had this major issue. My blood sugar dropped really, 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 really low, to where I almost passed out. And I didn't pass out, thankfully, but if I hadn't gotten off the register when I did, I really think I would have passed out, because I've actually been knocked out before, so I know what that feels like. So I was able to go sit down, get something to eat and something to drink. But usually whenever I had, I felt ill or something, I would wake up the next day and I would be completely fine. But with this, that didn't really happen. I was kind of messed up for the next few days. Like, I literally couldn't eat anything. Everything even smelling something made me want to throw up. Like, it was pretty not great. My stomach was messed up. Eventually I was able to start eating, but because of this incident, it really messed me up. And I began this cycle of, it starts with the stress, and then I think something's wrong with me. I think I'm going to be sick. Whatever, insert illness or disease here. And then that stresses me out more. And then I feel even worse. And then I get more stressed, and it's just a feedback loop. It just gets louder and louder and louder until I go to sleep, and then I wake up the next day and I'm fine, but then the cycle repeats again. And this happened like every day for 2+ years. And a few weeks ago, I was having another day where I was like, something's gonna happen. Of course, nothing ever does. I'm not saying it can't happen, but it doesn't. And the stuff I'm worrying about is stuff that I shouldn't be worrying about, and even think that, that's what's going to happen. Most of the time, I just confuse being stressed out and sick with being tired. But I had another heart-to-heart with my roommates, as I do like all the time, and I'm talking about all this stuff like, COVID is like a hot topic thing right now, and it's like the exact sort of thing that would make me start having all this stressful anxiety, like, I'm coughing, I got COVID and I'm gonna die. And I know it's so insane that is the what my brain jumps to, but that's just what it does. It's just like, oh, you're gonna die. Oh, you felt like something in your arm, gonna have a heart attack, gonna die, bro. But like, it doesn't even make sense. Like none of that, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like the most extreme conclusion to jump to, but that's just what my head does. But I talked to my roommate, and there was like something different this time. Like, I objectively looked at the last 2 years, and I was like, I keep throwing myself down into this hole. How many times am I going to keep throwing myself into this hole needlessly before I stop doing it? How many times am I going to mess my own self up and keep self-sabotaging before I realize that I don't need to keep worrying like this? Sorry, I keep changing hands because my arm gets tired. Like I said, I just got off of work and I ran down here to the lake to do this video. So I thought about that, I internalized it, because other people can tell me that, oh dude, you're gonna be fine, or oh dude, that's nothing all the live long day, but unless I believe it, it doesn't really mean anything. And talking about this stuff causes me to think about it. And if I think about it, I talk about it. And like I said, it's just a feedback loop. It just keeps feeding itself. It's a perpetual motion machine that exerts more power the longer it goes on. Put my camera right here. So I started to think about things through a lens of, if I'm feeling a little bad, it's nothing. Like, I'm just tired. Oh, I've been at work like all day. Of course I'm gonna feel tired. And slowly that stress and anxiety started lifting off of me. And the last 2 weeks have been great. I mean, I've been fantastic. I haven't been worrying. I haven't been stressed. I haven't been feeling bad. Things have been pretty great. And I feel like that things have been getting better, but there's a very loud thing over there. Within the last day or so, I've been kind of feeling like I'm lapsing a little bit, but not entirely that. Like I said, I just want to repeat, I'm fine. I am okay. I am not in danger of hurting myself or anyone else. I am okay. Everything's cool. It's kosher. But I just, like, I've been falling, I feel like I've been falling back into those old trappings a little bit. And I don't want to go under again. I want to keep myself above. But it's like it's a sea monster. Like, I'm floating on top of the water, and there's like this sea monster. And he keeps trying to grab at me and pull me under. But its claws, like right now, it's like its claws are dulled and they're like covered in butter, so they keep slipping. I keep slipping out of its grasp, but it's trying. It's trying real hard to pull me back under. And it's like my brain's like, oh, you should look this up. Oh, you should check up on this. Oh, you should look at that. Like most recently with COVID-19. Oh, you should check this out. Oh, you should look that up. Oh, what did the CDC say? It's like, I know that looking at that stuff is just going to psych myself out. And I'm just going to fall back into that abyss and just keep drowning again. And like I said, I've been doing really good. I have been thinking about it. I've been fantastic. And I've been pulling myself out of that stress cycle. But it's like my own head is trying to fight against that. Like, it wants me to fall back into that old habit. And I know the more that I work at this and the more time goes by, the easier it's going to be. And I'm not going to have to keep fighting. I mean, I'm not like I'm constantly fighting with myself. Like I said, it's just been like the last day or so. But I know the more that I work at it, the easier it'll get, and I'll be fine, and everything will be all good. But it reminds me a lot of Devil's Snare. There's a lot of stuff in Harry Potter that's like metaphors for real life. You know, Dementors are obviously a stand-in for depression, but it wasn't until like today or recently that I really understood the Devil's Snare metaphor. And I mean, it might not even be a stand-in for anything. That's just how I feel it. But for those of you who have never read Harry Potter or seen Sorcerer's Stone, Devil's Snare is a vine-type plant that wraps itself around you, and the harder you struggle against it, the faster it kills you. And the only way to get it to let you go so you can live is to just relax and not fight against it. And I feel like this whole thing where I feel like I'm constantly going to have some health emergency is exactly like that. The more I fight against it, the more I keep looking shit up, the more I talk about it, the more I think about it, the faster it's stressing me out. The faster I'm feeling like crap, and I'm feeling like crap all the time. But if I just relax and let it go and just breathe and de-stressify, it eases up, and I don't have to worry about it. And I know that things like this aren't always, it's not always like this for everyone. I know that some people have this sort of thing. It could be with anything, but this sort of feeling, and in a more extreme degree, and it's not as easy for them to let it go. And maybe that's because of years and years of letting that sort of thing fester without really getting it in check. I don't know. It could be literally anything. But I kind of feel like, at least for me, the longer I let this go on, the harder and harder it is to be able to move on from that, because eventually it just becomes a habit. It just becomes part of your personality, part of who you are. Oh, there's a frog or something going nuts down there. But I guess that's all I really wanted to say with this video. We're just losing lots of light. I should be getting back to my place soon, but yeah, I just wanted to talk about that. And maybe this, I know maybe I shouldn't be making this video. Maybe making this video is going to make it worse, but I also kind of feel like it might just be a reminder for me to keep up the good fight, and to not let this thing pull me under, because I don't want to keep constantly throwing myself into a fire when there's no reason to do that. Anyway, I'm gonna get going back. Oh, also, I have a Discord now. Check that out in the description below if you want to join that. And that's it for that. So thank you guys for watching this unscripted, long-winded video. I do have more 3D videos coming up. I have a top 10 3D Blu-rays video I'm going to be working on, and I'm going to do some fun stuff with that I really haven't done in the past. And yeah, that's all for now. But just keep your chins up, guys. We're going to get through it, no matter how bad the media wants you to believe, no matter how bad your brain wants you to believe things are going to be. We're going to get through it, no matter what. And you guys have a good night, or morning, or whatever time of day you're watching this.